Does your furry friend take over your bed every night? It's time to reclaim your space while giving them the comfort they deserve with the coldest, cozy dog bed. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description to buy now on Amazon.
People phoning the Department for Work and Pensions, DWP, collectively spent more than 753 years waiting for their calls to be answered in 2023/24, according to a spending watchdog. Customers are being let down by the Department for Work and Pensions as it has fallen short of the expected standards over recent years. A report by the NAO said the DWP was generally not meeting its performance benchmarks or standards for answering calls, payment timeliness, and customer satisfaction. Some of its 20 million customers spent 31.6 million avoidable minutes on the phone to DWP advisors in 2022-23, 43% of the total call time on these lines. A survey also found 16% of customers were dissatisfied with their service. In round numbers, this comprised a total of about 652 years sitting on DWP's in-house lines and 102 years on its outsourced lines, according to the National Audit Office, NAO. While DWP has a target of answering 85% of calls to its in-house lines, it only managed to answer 76% of calls 2023/24. In other words, 17.3 million calls were answered and 5.3 million calls were ignored while customers were waiting in a queue. From 2023 to 2024, DWP took an average of 15 minutes and 23 seconds to answer calls on in-house lines. In that same time span, they answered 94% of calls to outsourced providers, 4% higher than they expected. Figures show they answered 19.4 million calls and abandoned 1.2 million. And, in this time period, the DWP paid £268.5 billion into benefit and pension plans because it supports over 20 million people through redundancy, retirement, or living with disabilities. The DWP also spent a further £7.3 billion on running costs. The NAO said those claimants who are vulnerable or have complex needs depend on benefit income in order to handle financial difficulties, and so the quality of the service they receive matters. The report said, poor service can have a range of detrimental impacts, including frustration, distress and disruption for customers, and additional cost for DWP. According to a customer experience survey, DWP's customer satisfaction has steadily fallen since 2020/2021. Their benchmark is 85% satisfaction, but 83% of customers were very or fairly satisfied in 2022-23. This is a 5% drop since 2020/2021, when satisfaction was 88%. The DWP believes this to be down to customers embracing the updates it made to streamline processes during the pandemic, the report said. Rates of customer satisfaction are also changeable across the different kinds of benefits. For example, 93% of state pension customers were satisfied in 2022-23, while only 77% of personal independence payment (PIP) customers were satisfied that same year. It was also mentioned in the report that claims for different types of benefits would be processed on variable timescales, but on average, 72% were processed on time in 2023/2024. The DWP's client base is increasing, due to various economic and societal factors. The number of people receiving benefit and pension payments in Britain rose from 20.3 million in May 2019 to 22.7 million in May 2023. There was a major spike in demand for universal credit, UC, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. The rising number of people with long-term health problems and disabilities accounted for a higher demand for PIP, the report said. It continued, DWP has published little information on the standard of service that customers can expect, increasing the likelihood of customer queries and greater pressure on its services. The report added that the DWP is planning to make more use of text messages to update customers, but noted that providing up-to-date information is not straightforward because of the range and complexity of its services. The NAO customers are more likely to call for progress updates and reassurance if the DWP maintains its limited transparency about service standards. The report said the DWP had estimated that 31.6 million minutes of customer call time for these benefits were avoidable in 2022/23 according to its analysis. Due to a reduction in payment accuracy, many customers also received the wrong amount of their benefit entitlement. In 2023-24, an estimated 3.7% of benefit spending was overpaid, totaling £9.7 billion, compared with 2.4% in 2001.